Okay, picture this. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, rubbing the sleep out of your eyes, reaching over to check your phone on the nightstand, and seeing that you've actually made money while you were fast asleep. Sounds like a total fantasy, right? Or maybe just completely impossible? But I promise you, it's really not. In this explainer, we're breaking down the absolute architecture of passive wealth. We're going to look at 11 specific assets that act like little engines, quietly generating wealth in the background, 24/7. Okay, let's dive into this because earning money while you sleep sounds crazy, but it is literally the fundamental dividing line between the wealthy and the middle class. The biggest difference between rich people and everyone else isn't that they work harder. While most people are out there trading their precious hours for a fixed paycheck, the wealthy are constructing systems. They're building a blueprint where their money actually does the heavy lifting for them. To really understand how they pull this off, we have to define our core term here: an asset. Basically, an asset is simply something that puts money into your pocket, even when you're doing absolutely nothing. And honestly, the best part? Building this wealth blueprint requires far less money to start than most people assume. You definitely don't need $1 million to get into the game. You just need to know exactly what to acquire. Chapter 1: Markets and Real Estate. And this brilliantly illustrates the two classic paths to passive income: owning physical property versus owning a share in a business. On one hand, we've got rental real estate. This is one of the oldest wealth-building assets in history. Your tenants pay rent, that rent pays down the mortgage, and over time you build serious equity while the property itself increases in value. So many millionaires built their fortunes one rental property at a time. But on the other hand, we have dividend stocks. Imagine owning a tiny piece of massive American titans. We're talking Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble. These companies don't just grow in value, they actually pay their shareholders cold, hard cash every few months. That's a dividend. And you can start doing this with just a few $100. Now, if picking individual stocks or, buying a whole house sounds totally daunting, look at diversification. S&P 500 index funds let you invest in America's 500 biggest companies without trying to pick the winners yourself. Historically, it delivers strong long-term returns with virtually zero effort, which is exactly why it's one of Warren Buffett's absolute favorite investments for the average person. Then we have REITs, real estate investment trusts. Don't have the cash to buy an entire apartment building? No problem at all. REITs let you collect income from shopping malls, huge warehouses, hospitals, and office buildings without ever actually owning or managing the properties yourself. The professionals handle the whole shebang. Chapter 2: The Digital Economy. Let's shift gears a bit. The digital economy completely rewrites the rules of production. Think about it. Step 1, create something once. Step 2, sell it forever. Step 3, customers pay every day. We're talking about digital products here: online courses, ebooks, templates, digital planners. The absolute beauty of these digital assets is that there are zero shipping costs, no physical inventory to store in your garage. They can be sold infinitely. People are out there buying them every single day without the creator ever having to pack a single box. It's pure scale. Let's move to and see how this builds a massive compound effect with YouTube channels. On day 1, you upload a video. Sure, it takes serious effort, but months later, that single great video continues to accumulate subscribers, and years later, it's still generating continued ad revenue. Many creators earn money while they're fast asleep because their videos just keep working long after they hit publish. In the digital age, content itself becomes an incredibly powerful income-generating asset. But the absolute holy grail of the digital economy? It's these two words right here: recurring revenue. This is exactly why software as a service, or SaaS, and mobile apps are among the most valuable businesses on the planet. Even a simple app that just solves one single problem can become a multi-million-dollar asset. Why? Because customers pay every single month. They subscribe. It turns simple software solutions into massive, highly predictable cash flow assets. And hey, we can't talk about the digital and creative economy without touching on royalties: books, music, photography, patents. Basically, every time someone buys or uses your work, you get paid. You create the intellectual property once, and that asset acts like a giant vault, just unlocking royalty payments for years and years after the initial creation. Chapter 3: Automated Physical Assets. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that magic number right there: 24. We are talking about vending machines and ATMs. These machines work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't need to hire cashiers, you don't have to deal with HR, and you have literally zero employees on the floor. You just keep them stocked and maintained. Plenty of savvy investors build entire, highly lucrative businesses around vending machines and ATMs simply because they generate pure, recurring, automated cash flow. Scaling up the physical footprint a bit, let's look at self-storage facilities. Why are these so incredibly profitable? Well, because people always run out of space. Families need storage when they're moving. Businesses need storage for excess inventory. Students need storage between semesters. And here's the magic formula. Once customers rent a unit, they tend to stay for months or even years. It requires minimal maintenance compared to an apartment building, making self-storage one of America's most secretly profitable real estate businesses.
Chapter 4. Everyday Cash Flow Businesses. Car washes, laundromats, self-storage, water delivery, parking lots. Look, here is something most people never realize. The simplest, most boring businesses often make the absolute most money. Sure, a laundromat or a parking lot isn't exactly glamorous. They definitely aren't going to get you on the cover of a tech magazine, but they generate cash year after year. They provide basic, essential services that people constantly need, turning them into incredibly reliable assets.
Chapter 5. Your blueprint for wealth. Let's tie this all together. So, the crucial point is that it ultimately comes down to a choice. You have dollars that disappear, spent on fleeting experiences and items that drop in value the second you buy them. Or you have dollars that keep paying you. The rich don't become wealthy just from getting a bigger paycheck. They take their dollars and they buy assets that pay them for years. Every dollar you spend can either disappear forever or it can become a tiny, relentless employee that goes out and works for you. Building this wealth isn't some overnight get-rich-quick scheme, it's a deliberate architecture. The source material for this explainer provides a super clear, simple 3-step blueprint. Step 1, start small. You seriously don't need a fortune to buy a fractional share or start creating a digital product. Step 2, be consistent. Keep at it month after month. Step 3, own more assets every single year. Let that compounding effect totally take over. It's all about stacking these income-generating engines one by one. Which leaves us with this final, vital question to ask yourself as we wrap up this explainer. Is your money finally working harder than you are? If the answer is no, well, it's time to look back at these 11 assets and decide which one you're going to start acquiring today. Because one day, you too could wake up, check your phone, and realize you've made money while you were fast asleep. Take this blueprint, start building your assets, and we'll see you in the next explainer.